I've never had much success with girls, especially when compared to the other boys I grew up with. They had their fathers in their lives, they played sports, were socially deft, and just generally having much more game than me. My only hobby was video games, and I've always leaned towards the sensitive side, growing up in a family comprised of mostly women and being raised by a single mother. So needless to say, I was the biggest pussy on the block, from getting laughed at by girls to getting my shitty neon yellow End 1 basketball shorts pulled down by surprise in the boys' locker room back in middle school, exposing the jungle of pubic hair that I didn't shave the night before for all to see. That's a true story, by the way, shout out to Nico. And because that pathetic excuse for a man, that I unfortunately call my male parental guardian, has been living it up on a beach in Costa Rica with his new wife's tit in his mouth, I never learned man to man how to be smooth, to be the irresistible voluptuous alpha that the ladies desire, to one day ascend into sex godhood, reaching James Bond levels of flirtation and poon poking. Once my cards had been dealt, mistakes were made and battles were lost, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. Some of my embarrassing experiences with girls.
You have no idea how to talk to a woman, do you?
I think this is the longest conversation I've had with one.
Yeah, for most of my life, it looked and sounded exactly like that. Even though I started taking pride in my appearance when high school rolled around, getting a fresh new haircut in exchange for the string cheese mop seemingly grafted to my head like a Big Daddy suit, I didn't get any action, let alone speak any action to a human of the female variety. I always convinced myself every yearly round of the medieval gauntlet that is high school that my looks would get me into all the parties, drinking and smoking anything I could get my hands on, and of course, slaying pussy on the regular. But as it turns out, I would later learn that you actually have to make a physical effort, like, talking to people. And that strenuous endeavor was definitely not in my options menu. However, at the end of my junior year, that all changed. Arceus and Godslayer Pikachu answered my prayer, blessing me with their sacred aura. By some fucking stroke of luck, I had my first kiss. After winning against a girl in Mario Kart that I had met in my natural disasters class when I was 17. This is so fucking stupid. She was a year older than me, short in height with long straight brown hair, a beautiful smile, a gorgeous face, and holy shit, she was equipped with the finest of ballistics.
Holy shit!
Damn near bigger than Ashley's from Resident Evil 4, and the thickest thighs and the fattest ass I've ever had the pleasure of feeling. Looking back on it now, I can't believe how much I lucked out. It was like pairing Aphrodite with Happy Gilmore. It was like I was smack dab in the middle of Hoenn, and I found a shiny Pokemon on Mirage Island. Trust me when I say that this encounter was sent from the gods above. I remember us being in her room afterwards, and she was standing on a stool at her closet. We started to kiss, and I lost my balance and slammed my arm into the fucking closet door behind her. And of course, this caused her to lose her balance a little bit, so I almost wiped her out too. Damn near took the stool out from under her. If I was banging anything, it was not in any suggestive context.
By some divine miracle, we were paired up, and she actually thought of me. Thought of me enough to decide that I was the guy she would trust with the whole funness of her party. She wants to fuck me. She wants my dick in and around her mouth.
So this was around May of 2017 when we started getting close, talking more often and hanging out once or twice after the first time we kissed. I wish I still had the text I sent to her, because I would have loved to show you how big of an awkward weirdo I was. I do remember that we used to call each other Wildcat from High School Musical, which is so cheesy that it makes my toes curl into my heels. We watched the first 2 movies in that series together on my shitty busted up futon in my basement, and we would kiss for a few minutes, and she even got on top of me. Twice, might I add. But then she would just stop cold turkey and continue watching Zac Efron sing his fucking brains out. It was painful, physically and mentally. My balls were throbbing so much that I thought they were gonna turn blue, and my brain was short-circuiting because I desperately wanted to take things further, but she wasn't allowing it. I was in a torture chamber, with this very attractive female teasing the ever-loving shit out of me with her perfect body, with playing in the background. To her, I was nothing more than practice, an amateur side piece that was granted just a tablespoon's worth, a mere glimpse of what the dating life was like. I was given an appetizer, maybe an entree on a good day, but I wasn't allowed access to the full course. But yeah, she left for college in June and I never saw her again. I have tried to reach out to her over the years, but unfortunately she never responded. The chance of sexual intercourse is forever lost, washed away by the sands of time and the winds of fate. Because let me tell you, I would have planned a high-scale Joker-level bank heist and probably licked a stripper's asshole to tap that. Even if I came in under a minute and performed a cum shot that flew across the room that was faster than the bullet from Mario Brothers, it would be worth it. 100%.
I would do terrible, disgusting things to hook up with Jules. Unforgivable things.
I hear you, man. Give my middle nut to start dating Becca.
So after the busty brunette moved on with her life, I got intimate with other girls, but nothing too crazy happened. But my behavior and mannerisms were still pretty cringe-inducing from what I remember, so of course I have to touch on it. But first, here's a little tale about a girl I liked from before high school. Back in middle school, I had the biggest crush on this girl, and it was definitely not a mutual feeling. I was delusional to think that she would even fall for the bleach blonde-haired spaghetti monster with buck teeth and awful social skills. One time, she made a post on Instagram and I commented, "Hi." Nothing else, just hi. Truly the work of a seduction connoisseur, if I do say so myself. I'm sure I did more shit to make her panties wet over the course of that school year, but it didn't take long for her to make another post. It read, "I have a stalker," and I was the only one tagged in it. I went down into the comments, and I remember my friend at the time, Mike, said, "I can't believe you, Nick, LOL." Fuck me. As you can obviously infer, nothing ever blossomed between us, but I will say that it was definitely for the best. The big titties babe had tossed me aside to meet with some real men that would give her a good dicking in a faraway land, and the confused, hurt, lonely squidplop was getting his ass kicked, thrown around by the storm of heartbreak. It felt like an eternity, but my dramatic bum ass actually met another girl that July at a Sweet 16. I surprisingly asked her for her number, and we quickly connected, talking quite often, and once the first date came around, I was awkward. And when I wasn't being awkward, I was being nice guy extraordinaire. "How much candy do you want? I know I've already said this, but I love your hair." Like, ugh, Jesus H. Christ, it was so bad. I have no idea how to flirt in any sense of the word. Regardless, I somehow scored a second date with her to the movies, and I kissed her at the end of Baby Driver, and I thought I was the man. I felt like Austin Powers after he got his mojo back. And based off of this one kiss, I thought she gave me the green light to ask her out. I hit her up on Snapchat a day later, and surprise, surprise, she said no, and my dreams were crushed once again. I'm not kidding when I say that after receiving a piping hot serving of rejection, for all the right reasons, mind you, I was acting like a bitch. There I was, sitting next to my mommy on the side of her bed, sobbing like I was auditioning for a Broadway production, 17 years old, crying over a girl. Just to reiterate, it was pitiful and I had so much to learn. The rest of my dating timeline is nothing special. Either I was just casually making out with a girl for a few minutes, or I was running away from potential relationships. And while I was in the wrong for not being more grown up and decisive, it was a more than generous decision to not get romantically involved with those two girls I met that wanted something more. They were biting off more than they can chew. As far as I'm concerned, I did them a favor. And that's it. My exciting, fun-filled dating life in full. I'm sure there were more embarrassing moments that I've had with the ladies, but I think my brain is subconsciously putting up walls to spare me the anguish and trauma of said events. But if more shit happens, I'll be sure to post it here. Yeah, that's right, pussy. I'm not self-conscious about anything anymore. Make fun of me. I don't give a fuck. If anyone comes across this video, I hope you get a kick out of it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a test I need to ace.